Here is a detailed history of the Eiffel Tower. Welcome to my channel. If you like, kindly subscribe and share. Thanks again. 19th century Paris and Universal Expositions. In the late 1800s, Paris was a center for art, science, industry, and progress. France was looking forward to celebrating the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution, 1789, and to mark that a grand international fair, the Exposition Universelle, was planned for 1889. Wikipedia. Need for a monumental entrance. As part of preparations, the exposition organizers wanted an impressive structure, both as a gateway to the fair and as a symbol of French engineering, artistry, and industrial progress. More than 100 designs were submitted to a competition. Gustave Eiffel's company entered. Two of his engineers, Maurice Koechlin and Émile Nouguier, had already developed ideas for a tall metallic tower. Architect Stephen Sylvester added elements of aesthetic decoration, arches, viewing pavilions, etc. Wikipedia. Initial resistance. The proposal was controversial. Many artists, writers, and intellectuals in Paris felt that this huge iron structure would be ugly, out of place, even an eyesore. But Eiffel defended the design as both structurally sound and a new expression of modern materials. Wikipedia. Design and engineering. Design basis. The core idea from Koechlin and Nouguier was a tower of about 300 meters high, using wrought iron in a lattice open structure. This was unusual at the time. It meant achieving great height, strength, but also relatively low weight and wind resistance. Encyclopedia Britannica. Materials and components. About 18,000 separate iron pieces, puddled iron, were prefabricated. History. Joined together using around 2.5 million rivets. History. The structure without additions, antennas, etc., weighed several thousand tons. In total, including the elevators, shops, etc., the weight is significantly more. Architectural Digest. Foundations and structure. The tower stands on four large masonry/piers, legs, set on substantial foundations. These taper inward as they rise, joining into a single upward structure. Encyclopedia Britannica. The shape was carefully calculated to ensure stability, to resist wind, to distribute load, etc. Eiffel used advanced understanding of metal truss work and load distribution. Encyclopedia Britannica. Elevators and access. Because of the curved shape of the legs, designing elevators was non-trivial. The Otis Elevator Company in the United States was contracted to make special glass cage elevators to ascend on an incline in the legs, for at least some levels. Encyclopedia Britannica. Construction, 1887-1889. Timeline. Work began in 1887. It took just over 2 years to complete, or about that, as precise with different parts. It was completed in time for the Exposition Universelle of 1889, which opened in May. Encyclopedia Britannica. Labor and process. Construction involved hundreds of workers. Despite the scale, accidents were relatively few. For a project of that size, the safety record was decent. History. Much of the ironwork was prefabricated in Eiffel's workshops and then transported to the site. Each piece had to be very precisely made to fit, as on-site modifications had to be minimized. Live science. Opening. The tower was dedicated on March 31, 1889. The public opening for the exposition was in May 1889. Visitors initially visited via stairs where elevators were not yet fully operational. Gustave Eiffel himself led some official ascents and displayed the French tricolor from the top. History. Early years and uses. Temporary status and threat of demolition. The tower was originally intended with a 20-year permit or equivalent temporary concession. After the exposition, there was talk of dismantling it. However, Eiffel and others worked to prove its usefulness beyond just a monument. Wikipedia. Scientific and communication uses. Eiffel foresaw that it could be useful for scientific experiments, meteorology, wind studies, etc. So in the years after the opening, labs and stations were established. Encyclopaedia Britannica. Additionally, it became important for telegraph and radio transmission. For instance, by the early 1900s, antennas were being installed. Its height made it ideal for broadcasting. This utility helped ensure that authorities allowed it to remain. History. Public reception evolves. Though early criticism existed, over time the Eiffel Tower came to be celebrated. It became a landmark, an emblem of Paris. Artists began seeing its beauty, tourists admired its views. The fears of ugliness were largely overshadowed by the symbolic value it acquired. Encyclopaedia Britannica. Modifications, maintenance and growth. Additions and elevation changes. Over the years, various antennas and broadcasting equipment were added, increasing its height beyond the original 300 meters to about 330 meters, including those extras. Encyclopaedia Britannica. Painting and upkeep. The tower's iron must be protected from rust and corrosion. Thus, regular painting is required. It has been painted many times, for instance, Live Science says 18+ times since its construction. Live Science. Changes in infrastructure. Over the decades, elevators have been upgraded, replaced, levels for visitors have been adapted, lighting has been installed, the visitor facilities, restaurants, shops have been improved. Some decorative aspects have been changed or removed. Wikipedia. Role in wars and politics. During World War I, the tower helped in radio communications and military telegraphy. During World War II, though occupied by Germans, the tower was not destroyed. There are stories of resistance, sabotage, e.g., cutting elevator cables to hinder the occupiers. History. Symbolic and cultural significance. Icon of Paris and France. Over time, the Eiffel Tower has become perhaps the symbol of Paris in the public imagination, much more than when first built. It features in art, literature, cinema, travel, etc. A structure that once was controversial now often represents French identity, modernity, romance, the blending of technical advancement and aesthetic beauty. Encyclopaedia Britannica. Tourism. The tower is one of the most visited paid monuments in the world. Millions of people each year ascend it, visit its observation platforms, enjoy its restaurants, etc. It has economic significance as well as cultural. Encyclopaedia Britannica. Events and experiments. Many scientific experiments have been performed from the tower, meteorological observations, studies of cosmic rays, etc. Also, events such as exhibitions, lighting displays, celebrations, Bastille Day, New Year's, artistic installations have used the tower. History. Key dates and milestones. Here are some important moments. Year event 1884 Eiffel's company files patent for a new form of metallic support permitting construction of a 300 m structure. Tour Eiffel. Paris, 1887 construction begins. History. March 31, 1889 Eiffel Tower is dedicated, officially completed. History. May 1889 Exposition Universelle opens to public, with the tower as its entrance. History. 1900 For the Exposition Universelle of 1900, modifications made, more lighting, electric lamps, repainting, reworking visitor facilities. Wikipedia. Early 20th century tower is increasingly used for radio/telecommunication. Its role becomes strategic. Shops, elevators, etc. Total weight is higher. Architectural digest. Number of pieces and rivets, 18,000 iron parts, 2.5 million rivets. Live Science. Visitor levels. It has 3 main levels open to the public, 2 platforms, then the upper observation deck. Wikipedia. Legacy and meaning. Symbol of modern engineering. The tower showcased what iron and later steel and modern industrial fabrication could do, Heights and shapes previously impossible, structures lighter and more daring than solid masonry. Art and culture. It influenced architecture, art, paintings, postcards, photography, film, literature. It represents more than its physical presence. It stands for innovation, for France's balance of tradition and modernity. Global landmark. It's one of the most recognizable structures in the world, a major tourist attraction, many replicas and references in art, advertising, other towers. Continuity and change. Though built in the 19th century, the tower has never been static. Its uses, aesthetics, infrastructure have evolved. Yet it continues to hold on to its identity, its iconic silhouette, its cultural aura. Reflection. When we look back, the Eiffel Tower was more than an impressive hoisting of iron. It was a turning point. One moment where engineering, art, and society intersected such that what began as temporary became permanent because it served multiple roles: scientific, communicative, symbolic, economic. It reminds us that monuments aren't just what they look like, they're what people make of them, whether they scorn them, embrace them, preserve them, use them. History. 1929–1930, the Chrysler Building in New York surpasses the Eiffel Tower's height, ending its record as the world's tallest structure. Encyclopedia Britannica, mid-20th century to present, continuous maintenance, adaptations, preservation. UNESCO recognition. Paris's banks of the Seine, including the tower, being a World Heritage Site. Wikipedia. Challenges, criticism, and preservation. Early criticism. Many in the arts and intellectual community felt the tower was ugly, industrial, inappropriate for the classical beauty of Paris. Eiffel responded by emphasizing its modernity, its structural elegance, its utility. Wikipedia. Maintenance costs and upkeep. Keeping a large iron structure from corroding is expensive. Regular painting, replacing or maintaining elevators, lighting, etc., all cost a lot. Ensuring safety and comfort for millions of visitors adds to the challenge. Live science. Potential demolition and legal permit. Originally, the permit was only for 20 years. After that, there was serious consideration of dismantling. But public and practical usages, especially communication, helped argue for its retention. History. World wars. Danger of damage, symbolic value, occupation. For example, during World War II, Hitler supposedly ordered its destruction, but the order was never carried out. Resistance acts, such as disabling of lifts, are part of the lore. History.